Eastern American time. This is between Felix Stenitzer at the top and Wim de Kock at the bottom. There's everything to play for here except for modern. Felix has wrapped up modern, but legacy, both of these players are competing for the legacy and standard crowns. And Felix has a 7-point lead for the Grand Champion. So if Aric at the bottom can win 2 formats, then he's giving himself a chance. Of course, Felix, if he can pick up a point in each of those, might still be enough for him to win the title. Actually, the gap's 7. No, sorry. So Wim has to win. Aric has to win all 3 formats to have a chance. Because 7-point gap. If Felix wins a format, it goes to 11. The best that Aric can do is make up 8. We're just looking at Felix's hand at the bottom there. We'll switch to Aric. Looks like a soul tie mirror match. No thanks. I'm a little surprised he let... Oh, I suppose he can fatal push before the attack so that he doesn't get the energy trigger. There's Felix, he moves to attack. Yeah, there it is there. Okay. But these mirror matches, they normally come down to who resolves the Hydra the first. You can see Aric, we're looking at Felix's hand right now. He's got 2 gear hulks, so he's a bit top heavy, but he's only 1 land away. And the slight difference here, I don't think Aric's playing gear hulks main, and I don't think Felix will play Ether Sphere Harvester main. Both of these are kind of unique choices for each player. As he finds a fatal push, he doesn't have the... He can't revolt it here to get the Ether Sphere Harvester down. So Aric's just looking for something to crew the Harvester. He's got a Hydra, but that's a prime target for the Essence Scatter that Felix has in hand. He might go for the Long Tusk Cub first, just to try and bait any counter spell. We'll see if he does. Ether Sphere Harvester. No, he's going to go for the Bristling Hydra. So this is going to be a good value counter spell here for Felix. This will draw the Essence Scatter for sure. Of course, in Soul Tie colours, neither of these players has a good answer to a resolved Bristling Hydra. White has the recent printing of Settle the Record, which is an excellent card to deal with it. As Felix now, let's see what his draw for the turn is. I don't have a mouse plugged in, so I'm trying to use this crappy trackpad. It's very unresponsive. You can see the fatal push there. The fatal push is going to take down the Long Tusk Cub, but not before it can crew the Harvester. Did you just see what Wim's Aric's draw for the turn was? A Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Of course, the Ether Sphere Harvester is out of Gear Hulk range. Nothing really in the graveyard that... There's nothing in Felix's graveyard that makes for a good Gear Hulk target at this stage. As he fires off his Fatal Push to take down the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. So that's going to mean that Felix is out of removal spells, so that the Ether Sphere Harvester can get in safely here. What's the Gear Hulk going to find? He probably wants a Glimmer of Genius at this stage, so that he can find that 6th land and also have a good target for the Gear Hulk. Again, apologies for the coughing, I've got a bit of a cold. Just waiting for Aric to see what the draw is for the turn here. This event has been it's not really live streamed. I set a delay of 5 minutes. Just there's the six there's the 6 land for the Gear Hulk, but all he's got is a counter spell in the graveyard. I set a delay of 5 minutes on the stream just so that to avoid any issues of players watching the stream to see what the other one's getting. Yeah, Felix reporting some lag here. This is on the group server. So holds up 6 mana, 2 in hand. The only thing here is the Gear Hulk can ambush the Long Tusk Cub if Aric draws another creature that would crew the Harvester, but it doesn't look like he has. It looks like a Tune with Ether was the draw for the turn. It was. Yeah, he makes a sneaky play. That's a good play. So he plays the Forest so he can play it out and disguise that other card in hand. Six mana up. Oh, he's gonna get sucked in by the Gear Hulk. He can pump it 4 times, so he could trade. He could trade with the Gear Hulk here. And you can see Felix, he chooses no blocks. So down comes the Gear Hulk. He's going to try and race back the other way. Nothing in the graveyard to flash back. Just checking to see if the stream is online. Yeah, the stream is online. Okay, I forget to chat in the stream, so I'm going to do that now. Oh shit, I'll put that on pause. Hold on. Actually, I'll shut the stream. I'm not going to keep it open because just in case it causes lag issues here. Oh, he had a Fatal Push. Okay, that makes sense. So big advantage here to Felix now. Fatal Push is not going to do it. And he can only pass the turn. Does Felix get aggressive here and throw in the next Gear Hulk? No. See what his draw was for the turn. A Whirl of Virtuoso. So this is not looking good for Aric. What can Aric find for the turn? Another land. Oh, he's got a Ballista, but I think that's going to get the second Gear Hulk, and I think game 1 is going to go to Felix Stenitzer here. He'll Gear Hulk for the Essence Scatter, and game 1 of Standard, as the concession comes. Just while those two sideboard, I'm going to quickly go and get some breakfast, because it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. Okay, so they're both sideboarding. I think in terms of creature removal, Aric will be looking at things like Vraska's Contempt, because he's seen the 2 gear hulks. Remember the second one was flash down to flash back the essence scatter at the end of the match, so he knows his 2 gear hulk's main board. As we're back now, I think Felix's deck is pretty well set up to beat these mid-range decks anyway. Yeah, we're looking at a very awkward one-lander, so this one is a keep. We'll see what Felix has decided to keep. You can see he's got the Glimmer this time. Supreme will be a very good counter spell in this matchup. No black sources here for Felix. The Harvester is going to be able to resolve here. And just look at one's chooses not to place counters, so Felix on the hunt for a black source just to remove that long tusk cub. You can see the second one in hand. He's got an Attune. He's kept up Supreme Will rather than Attune. Supreme Will can get that Constrictor if he wants. Yep, he does. Next turn he can Attune for the black, get the Fatal Push, take down the long tusk cub. I've never played these mid-range decks, so I'm not really sure in a mid-range mirror where both sides have Fatal Push, how much you want to commit to these long tusk cubs, because they're not long to the world. Even if you pump them very large, they still die to a Fatal Push, unrevolted Fatal Push. But Felix is going to let it survive for a turn. So he's going to take a beating here. Aric's going to be able to play out a second one, equip the Harvester, and get in with the Harvester and the Long Tusk Cup. Oh, and shields down comes Scarab God, so neither of these decks have a very good way of getting rid of it, except for Vraska's Contempt. And with Felix up again, it's worth reminding people that the winner of this match will be the European Standard Champion. This is almost a mirror match of what happened last year, where these two were clearly out in front of everybody else by quite a large margin. Last year, it was 30 points. Okay, my breakfast is finished, sorry about that. Okay, down comes Fatal Push main phase, but the problem with the Fatal Push here is that Scarab God's going to get it back as a 4-4 at some point. And so I'm just bringing up the live ladder for this one now. The gap this time, Alessandro Moretti finished third. Heading into this final round, the gap is 20, 50, 20. The gap is 25 points. So the gap between second and third is 25 points. Last year it was 30 points. So it means maybe the rest of the competition's getting a little bit better. Aric's going to be able to get in here again with the harvester. See what Felix has got in hand. Felix was really had a problem with that, with resolving, finding that black mana source. The delay has really cost him. He's down to 6 here. He's going to have to chump block with the Rogue Refiner. But you can see here, this is a nice play from Aric. I like this. He's just playing around a Fatal Push, so he had lethal on board with the Scarab God and Aethersphere Harvester, which would force a block from the Rogue Refiner. But when the Rogue Refiner dies, it means that Fatal Push is live. So what he did, he didn't spin the Scarab God, swing the Scarab God, so that the Revolt can't work. So now you can see he's got the match, because he's got a lethal attacker in the Aethersphere Harvester, and I don't believe Gonti flies. No flying on Gonti. He just casts a Gonti just to get a bit of information and then concedes. So you can look at the first 4 cards of Aric's deck just to get an idea of what he sideboarded. So we're going to game 3. That's a good win from Aric, and I really like that play at the end of not swinging the Scarab God. It's very switched on. Of course, the incentive there to swing it, they're straight back into it now. The incentive there to swing it would have been to get the Rogue Refiner in the bin, so that Scarab God could bring it back and get a card draw. But he had lethal on board, so he didn't need to do that. We're just looking at hands now. This is Aric's hand on. Aric's not on the play this time, but it looks like a pretty nice draw there. He probably keen on hitting the 3rd land. We'll look at what Felix is on. 1, 2. Felix has got his 3rd land. He's got a removal spell, so it's not a bad hand for either one. So this should be an interesting contest. Felix with the Fatal Push to deal with that. And tons of card draw coming here. No mucking around here. Fatal Push. He's got Wheel of Virtuoso coming next turn. Looking in good shape here. What's Aric got in response? You can really see in these matches the advantage of playing first. Aric's under a fair bit of pressure actually to find that 3rd land. He's going to get the card draw next turn, but now he's got big problems because those Glint-Sleeve Siphoners have Menace, so they're both going to be able to get in here, dropping him to 14. As he missed his 3rd land drop, we'll see what Felix is going to have a Wheel of Virtuoso coming down most likely. And with 2 of them swinging, it means he's got he'll get enough energy each turn for a card draw. And he's going to be able to actually draw 2 cards next turn. So this is not looking good already for Aric. This is the European Championship right here. Again, misses the land drop. No attacks. So it means he can comfortably pick off a Glint-Sleeve Siphoner here. And there's the glimmer, so it's all just lining up here for Felix. Cast at main phase. Looking for a fatal push. So if he doesn't find a fatal push, he can play one of his tap lands. Is there Vraska's Contempt? And he's sticking with the aggressive route here. I would be inclined to take down one of those siphoners, but it would mean losing his own siphoner. Again, repeating, Aric has to win all 3 formats to win the European Championship. If Felix takes a format, he's a European champion. He's looking very well placed at the moment. Likewise, Modern has been decided. Felix has won Modern, and Standard and Legacy are up for grabs. So what's it? He draws on a turn. Okay, so but he's still a turn behind. Like 2, 4, 5, but you can see the fatal push in the bin here, or the glimmer. So there's a lot of options open here for Felix to flash back that Gear Hulk and remove the long tusk cub. He's not going to do it this turn. Got all the time in the world. Vraska's Contempt can even remove one. Just too much card advantage here, I think. And this is kind of 2, 4, 5. I think he needs to Vraska's Contempt before blocks here, so that the menace will kick in. Okay, so he's requested a rollback. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. It's a bit strange. But you did a misclick. I was going to say, but both of these players are too good to make that sort of error. We'll just hopefully that the in this game 3, the rollback bug doesn't kick in. No, it hasn't. It's waiting for Aric. Unfortunately, I was playing yesterday and the rollback bug was still there. It's been there for about a year now. What the? I haven't seen that before. Looks like I can change their words. Yeah, look, I can change their words. How bizarre. Okay, so this is going to hopefully get him back into the match. Give him a bit of a life gain. He's down to 8 life. We've got Felix's... Felix can flash back Vraska's Contempt here in response to the activation. He also now has a Harness Lightning. See what Aric's got in hand. In they come. So this is going to be a blowout, this one. 2, 4, 5. He's going to take 6 and drop to 2, and I think it'll bring a concession once the Gear Hulk comes down. Gear Hulk for Vraska's Contempt to remove Aethersphere Harvester before blocks, and that will mean Felix will be the European champion and also the Standard champion. Down comes the Gear Hulk, and I think that's going to bring a concession, and we're going to switch to DE server for the Modern and Legacy. I don't think there's any way out of this. There's no card in standard in Sultai colours that can save Aric here. He says this game was brutal. I think he was always behind the 8 ball right from the start. You can see the difference in this mirror match between being on the play and on the draw. And what can he find? A walk the plank? Well, that's going to take down the... He still needs to deal with the 2 Thopters, flying Thopters, and he can't deal with it, so that's the concession from Aric, and Felix is the champion.